done by Sagarika from Jawaharlal University. She has done the GI value local food. You can see here this menu. This GI is 120. Is it high or low? It's high because it's above 70. See this Samba variety, GI is 66, right? Again it's high, right? But look at the string hoppers, 102, again it's high. But you see the red mix and this mix mean, what is the GI? It's 57. Though rice is high, when you come to the plate with the other vegetables and everything, it has come down to 57. So what's the message you can give? It means when you mix meat, you can reduce you can alter the GI levels. Right? So that's the message I want to give you. Again, so these are the normally we take the stuff, you know, the low GI here, also all are like closer to, within the healthy range, 55 and low. So all are mixed food. Even the kiribat and all what do you call it, green grams, so it's a mixing, not like eating just milk rice alone. These are the medium. Look at the high GI thing, all this lunch. This is basically this kind of meal is our main for dinner, right? So a lot of people when we ask what do you eat for dinner, they said we are not taking heavy diet, so we are taking very light diet. So when we ask what is a light diet, they say string hoppers. So when we ask how many string hoppers, even for both parties, male and female, they say like 30-40 string hoppers with gravy or something. So see the GI value. So end of the day, the following day you can see your blood sugar level goes high if you are diabetic. So though we can't say light because it depends on the quantity you eat. So actually this kind of is better than this type of stuff. Then we'll see how to modify your meal. All here I told you the mixing. You have the mixture of foods are always better. See, if you take even a bread is anyway high, low GI, but if you may suppose, bread is high GI, the white bread, we consider low GI. What is a low GI bread? What do you call it? And all. But again, we eat with gravy, again the GI is high. So then this is how you have to modify. You can see the right hand side. The modification you can do with the protein, with the vegetables and all, you can mix it to lower the GI, to reduce the GI. And this is how you the string hoppers, anything, you can modify it. So before you, it's like eating string hoppers, pig 2 and all. So you can have, the modification you can do is, you can have a bowl of vegetables pieces, or you can have boiled vegetables, or you can have a bowl of salads. Nowadays eating salads is much more beneficial because of the gas issue and all. So you don't have to use fuel to boil vegetables. So you can have like a piece of like a bowl of fruits, vegetable salad and all, with lettuce and all, you can use that. So that will help to reduce your GI.
So I won't be able to answer the phone.
So always, that's all. These are the ways we can balance. Even we make kind of roti kind of thing and all. You can incorporate vegetables and all to reduce GI.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Other thing is when you come to the fruits and vegetable again, fruits and vegetable again play an important role. It provides less energy, but it has a lot of vitamins, minerals and all. You can see the statement here. You can see average plant food are 64 times higher in antioxidants than animal food. So antioxidants play a very big role for the mom and baby and for your diseases. Diseases like cancer, diabetes, cholesterol, all these things. These antioxidants help to prevent all these diseases. Right? So it has fiber. So normally for a person we need 25 grams of fiber per day. To approach that limit, at least we have to consume this teacup I showed you earlier, even here it's here, 2.5 teacups of vegetables, 1.5 to 2.5 cups of vegetables you can eat per day to get this much of fiber. Even when you come to vegetables, say 2.5, and fruits you can take 1.5. And these are the other vegetables we need pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy. These are freely available, so we can incorporate for diet. when it comes to the glycemic load, I want to talk a little bit about glycemic load. I was talking about the glycemic index, what are the good food to take and what to reduce. So if I will start with this, glycemic load means it gives us the quantity. If I explain in this example, suppose we say grapes, if you eat a lot of grapes, it might increase your blood sugar. So tell me that if you eat 5 grapes, if you are eating 5 grapes, or if he is eating like 30 grapes, so which person has a possibility to increase blood sugar? Patient who ate 30 grapes. And if you eat one watermelon or the piece of watermelon, which one increase your blood sugar level? Person who eats the whole big fruit, right? So that's the quantity. So always you have to adhere to the correct quantities. That's why we have to say vegetable and fruits, though it's good, we say it in moderation, especially for the people who are diabetic and all. So that's why we say watermelon is high GI, right? That's why I said even if you eat, there's an example I have given, if you eat watermelon, it has glycemic load is 3.6. Here you can see the legend 1 to 10. If your glycemic load is 1 to 11, it's low, 11 to 19 medium, 20 or above high. That also you don't have to go for the calculation, those are available in the internet, you can check. So what I want to say is, even if you eat 100 grams of watermelon, it's not harmful. So if the glycemic load is harmful, 3.6, no, in between 1 to 10, it means the safer rate. So that's why eating moderation is alright, because I know people who are very scared with carrots and all, if you have diabetic and all, now we don't eat like kilo of carrots all the time, when we eat with other stuff, other food. So therefore nothing to worry as far as you are eating moderate amount of vegetable and fruits. These are the protein-rich food, I don't have to explain, but 15 to 20% of energy provided from these protein sources. And for the vegetarians who don't eat meat and fish and all, those things we should include to their diets very often. And these are the fat-rich food. Fat is also we need. Suppose if somebody has cholesterol, so high level of cholesterol, what's the limit of fat you should take? Who should take zero amount of fat? People who have very high cholesterol? No, nobody should take zero amount of fat, because we need fat to a certain extent, say 25 to 30. For those people we can limit to 25, even for the heart patients, even people who have high cholesterol, fatty liver, any people. So we don't give 30, but we give less than that, at least 25. Reason is fat is also needed to our body to make hormones, certain vitamins, vitamins A, D, K type of vitamins, they dissolve in fat, oil. So therefore, we know we need this thing, and to make some enzymes, steroids and all, so we need this fat. Therefore, within the range we should get, but we should know what are the good fat and bad fat. Unsaturated fat, you can see this one. These are the saturated fat. These are the one we should take less than 10%. These are the trans fat we try to avoid. Look at the pictures, like all the fast food and all belongs to this thing. Another thing is, when you come to oil, what is the best oil to use? What is the best oil to use for deep frying? According to the researchers have found out, coconut oil is the best oil, good coconut oil. And if you use coconut oil is the only oil you can use once or twice or thrice maximum. And but other oil like vegetable oil, palm oil and all, if you can use one time. One time use, then you have to discard it. So otherwise, if you keep it for a long time, it might develop this trans fat and it might cause cancers and various type of fatty liver, high cholesterol levels and all. So you have to be careful when you use oil. If you can find good coconut oil, you can use 2 to 3 times. Even that also, how do I use it? Once you fry it, you keep it on the pan and you use for the next day. that's not the way to use it. If you use coconut oil, then you discard the sediments and you filter it, put into a jam bottle kind of thing. You can close it, then tightly close the lid, then you can use it. Within a week, you better finish it off. And now we'll see then when to eat, right? When to eat and how to eat. So you know good food to eat and things to avoid and all. And I forgot to tell you, a little while ago you had snacks, right? So now I was blaming snacks, but in that case I said you have to limit these things. When you come to this kind of session, so when you go out and all, you have people room to have it. So, but without taking like every day. Even some pregnant mothers, they have there's a bit of loss of appetite and all. So most of the mothers I know, as a breakfast they used to take, as a dinner they used to take shorties and all. Those are the things you have to be very careful. When you go out and all, once in a while, taking is not harmful. So when we say how to eat, we have to take meals on time, right? We have to take meals on time. You can have 6 o'clock in the morning your tea or coffee, then after 2 hours time you can go for your breakfast. It should be a mixed meal. Now you know how to take a mixed meal. And then if you have time, so if you are not a working mother, so you can go for a good serving, having a gap. If not, that's alright. In the mid-morning you can go for healthy snacks. I will show you what are the healthy snacks in next slides. Then lunch again, the mixed meal. So evening snack and the dinner. When you take the dinner, make sure not to have late dinner. So at least if you can have your dinner 2 hours before go to bed, that's the best thing. Because the latter period, you might get flatulence and all, so you can avoid that. It will help to reduce it. When you come to the snacks option, we say normally the concept is 5 meals a day, 3 main meals and at least 2 healthy snacks. So when you come to the snack part, again when we say snacks, what are the things that come to our mind? All these shorties, buns and all. So when you look at this right hand side, these are the food which come to our mind. You can see the level of cholesterol and calories it has. As example, if you take this second one, piece of cake, you say it has 188 calories and cholesterol 8 milligram. But if you take nuts, teaspoon of nuts mean a teaspoon of nuts can mechara, godak neve. Teaspoon of nuts, it has how many calories? Calories 161. You can see here it's less than the piece of cake and it doesn't have cholesterol. Right? It means nuts are healthier than having a piece of cake. But the problem is, when we ask people to have nuts, first question they ask is, nuts have cholesterol, how should I take? But when I ask them, what did you take for snacks? So in the morning, what did you have? They say, I take a bowl or a patty or this thing. But they don't talk about the cholesterol level it has and the calorie level. So that's the thing we have to think a little. Then we know what are the right food to take. Even when you come to see, even the ice cream has 230 calories and 20 milligram of cholesterol. Why ice cream has cholesterol? We add animal fat to make ice cream, so that's why it has cholesterol. So always these kinds are very calories are less, no cholesterol. You can see the cholesterol is 0. So you can modify your snacks to those kind of things. And we'll see other healthy snack options, I think if you can a lot of Google recipes and all, you can find it out and you can modify your recipes here. So we can, rather than having a one yogurt alone, you can mix with a salad. Like instead of adding mayonnaise, you can add a yogurt. So it's a good snack, right? For the sandwich and all, you can add vegetables, eggs and all. And the nuts again, this kind of thing you can take. The wrap, suppose you can, rather than having a roll, taking this kind of wrap is much more healthier. So these are the unhealthy food I told you to reduce trans fat. And if you are diabetic, so if you have developed diabetes, so these are the things again you should limit. And if you are gaining weight, so these are the things you should avoid. or limit. You can see this much of thing, how many calories it has. I'm sorry about it. How much of calories this has? Even a French fries is a 270 calories. If you have rice and curry, just normal rice and curry plate, it has 300 to 350 calories. So this is very closer to that. If you are taking this, they're having only starch. So it says, so if you have this kind of food, it has a lot of calories, then to burn that you have to walk 4 kilometers. So if you eat this kind of snack, actually when you come to the beverage, this is not the only beverage, there are so many fizzy drinks, all come to this category. As an example, I have taken this. Some advertisements also misled us. So it has, if you take this, you say we have to walk 2 kilometers. So compare the Snickers bar and apples. How many calories in Snickers bar has? 280. How many, 3 apples has how many calories? 243. Which one has more calories? Snickers bar, right? So that's the thing. Then now you can compare the calorie on a small Snickers bar. So this much of calories are available. So that's the thing. Some people are, they don't take a lot of starch. But when you talk to them, when you come to the snack part, you do a lot of, when you eat a lot of snacks, that's what happens. So now there's a recommendation. WHO has given a recommendation about the sugar intake. This is for all the elderly people. Normally recommendation is you should, even if you are not diabetic, its recommendation is not to take more than 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. Say 1 teaspoon is approximately 5 grams, then 6 teaspoons means 30 grams. So you can see again, so if you take this kind of beverage, how much of calorie it has? Sorry, sugar, 9.5. Per day recommendation is 6 teaspoons, but within a moment we are consuming 9.5 teaspoons, just beyond the recommendation. And if you take like half a cup of ice cream, half a cup of ice cream is 7, and this kind of chocolate is 7.5. All these are exceeding the per day limit. But if you go for this natural kind of food, natural food like this carrots, all kind of thing has very less thing. Even that's why I mentioned about the carrot. Even here you can say 85 gram of carrot means 1 or 2 carrots has only 1 teaspoon of sugar. So you don't have to be scared to take it as a raw form or boil with other, mixing with other vegetables.
Yeah.
And this is our next generation, right? Even you may have kids and you are expecting mothers, right? Once you get kids, this is our world now. So that we have to be very careful to your child also you have to take to the correct path, giving right food. And I will give you some health tips. You know that you have to take iron-rich food, right? So suppose you take different sources of iron, animal protein and as well as a plant protein. Plant protein, what are the plant protein? We can get protein like lentils, green gram, cowpea and all. But the thing is, the problem is all this iron it contains, does it absorb? Sometimes may not. If you take vitamin C rich food with all this, especially with plant protein, it increases the iron absorption. Without vitamin C, we can't say absorption is not effective, right? So that's why our recipes are made. Normally how do you eat cowpea, kadala and mung? Normally, how is the traditional recipe? Grated coconut and lunamilis and all. Lunamilis, what you add lye. So you are providing the vitamin C source. So after having, we normally have a fruit, right? Fruit has vitamin C. So that's increase the iron absorption. So with normally mallung and all, when you make mallung, you put lime. So after taking off from the fire, right? So that means we are providing the vitamin C source. So those are the tips we should know. Other thing is, I told you about the coffee. So, when you come with the coffee and tea, I told you maximum you can take 1 to 3 is safe. The reason is, I showed you the meal timing, right? You have to take 2 hours gap. Have the breakfast, then after 2 hours you can go for your snack. Then after 2 hours you can go for the main meal. But when you take coffee or tea very often, so we miss that 2 hours gap. Right? When you take some iron-rich food, so if you take tea and coffee, you have to be very careful. You have to take 2 hours gap. Otherwise, the polyphenol compounds it contains inhibit the iron absorption of your food. Therefore, when you take, that's why we have limited just tea and coffee for like 2 or 3 per day. Then we can keep that gap. Other thing is, we need a lot of calcium, right? We need calcium for the baby and mother to prevent osteoporosis and all, right? So then how do we take it? That's also when you take distant drinks, mothers, they can't have water, right? They don't feel like drinking water, then you go for these fizzy drinks while they are main meals. That's why some advertisements also misled us. And what happens when you take fizzy drinks with this protein or calcium-rich food? It reduces the calcium absorption. Therefore, if you want to have this, have 2 hours gap. And other thing is, always when you choose foods, be better to choose the grains and all with grains. Normally, if you're not diabetic and all, you are free to eat like white rice and all, but when you always eat red rice, it's more beneficial because it has the vitamin D complex and vitamin D complex, which vitamins are available, those grains with the bread. Other thing is, the puff taste always high GI thing. And when you go to instant things are available and easy to take. So what does it contain? Why do we call it instant? It's already prepared, it's fried and prepared, there the GI is high. Then, you have to think about your practical life. So if we happen to take this, how should we take this? In emergency, you have no time to prepare your meal, then how to take it? With this type of one, you can combine with the vegetables or boiled vegetable or a vegetable salad. So then you can reduce your GI. That's why I told you this, how to modify the diet. And especially for diabetic and all, always half-ripened fruits are better than the ripe fruits. And regular exercise is also important to have a healthy life. That part will be done by the physiotherapist. And so now you know what to eat, what not to eat, and how to eat and all. So other than that, during pregnancy, you develop some complications. Like this, morning sickness. Anyway, the first 3 months you get it. After that, most of the people will come back to normal. Then high blood pressure. So the constipation. Actually, if you have high blood pressure, we said don't take added salt, hibiscus and all with salt and all you can reduce. The constipation, and you have to take more fiber diet. And the gastric reflux again, you have to take more fiber and all. Gestational diabetes is the one we develop during pregnancy, and the anemia. So anemia actually, until nowadays, anemia is less when people are taking iron tablets. No? So all these things you can overcome with the meal I explained, taking a balanced diet and with regular intervals. 2 snacks and 3 main meals, time eating I told you. So that will help to reduce your gastritis, gastric reflux as well. And the fiber-rich fruits and vegetables, again for diabetic constipation, that's a good answer for that. And adequate water you have to take. And with the doctor's advice and the physiotherapist, proper exercise. All these things you can prevent this prevent these complications and can reduce. Other thing is, I now talk about all the fruits and vegetables and everything. Now the problem is, can we find out all the fresh fruits and vegetables? So now we have a problem, no? All these pesticides and all. We don't know what is good and what is not. There are organic food outlets, but those are very few. But University of Peradeniya and Agriculture Department had come up with a solution some time back. the easiest way is you can wash this and vegetable with salt and vinegar mixed water for 15 to 20 minutes. To a certain extent you can reduce it, not 100%. And you can wash with honey water. And other thing is, normally to reveal the nutrients, normally we used to put vegetables and all close in the lid. We used to close the lid. But because of these pesticides and all, now we say it's better to open the lid and cook, because certain pesticides which can evaporate, there's a chances of evaporating. So we can, again to a certain extent, we can reduce it up to 100%. And now also food and vegetable purifiers are available. Again you can read more research article and you can use those. Right, there are, during the COVID period, actually now we are under control. So those days, a lot of people were scared and they try to soak fruits and vegetables in soap, water, detergents, and try to keep it like more than half an hour, 1 hour. So those are really bad. That will affect your kidneys, because their fruits and vegetables has tiny pores. So those detergents are chemicals, right? So those can get into your system and it will make further damage. So that actually washing with running water is sufficient. And so to overcome this, I thought of giving a solution. If you all have a little space at your home, you can do this kind of home gardening. If you go to the YouTube, you can see so many things, so many ways you can do. So you do like ornamental stuff. Instead of that, you can have like getting this kind of ideas. You can have your own home garden to get your leafy vegetables. 1 to 1.5 cup of 2 to 2.5 cup of vegetables per day. So one is, I told you that green salads and all. So leafy vegetables you all can grow like that. This is a good option. It's very organic. So only thing is to be creative a little bit. So if I summarize the session, so maintaining your weight is very important. Now you can calculate your weight to be maintained end of 9 months. And you have to limit unhealthy food. Have a mixed, balanced diet. Take adequate water, because a lot of pregnant women are very reluctant to take water because they have to frequent urination. But this is very important. And have your 3 main meals in small quantities, main meals. And because when you take small quantities, you don't have to take your main meals as a big meal. When you take snacks, if you don't take snacks only, you have to go for, you are overloading your stomach. And best thing is not to skip meals. Even if you want to reduce weight, don't skip meals. And you have to take 2 to 3 healthy snacks. I have mentioned that. What are the healthy snacks to take? Other thing is I have mentioned, we talk about dieting. So dieting during pregnancy, Madam wants me to highlight about it. So actually we should not go to extreme diets. The Mediterranean diet, what are the diets? Strenuous diet plans, you should not try to go to strenuous diet plan. But this is kind of dieting. If you adhere to a regular healthy meal plan with time eating and all, actually automatically you can reduce this thing. Suppose if you are a person who used to eat a lot of short eats and all, you can reduce them. Then that will reduce your weight. Likewise, if you take a balanced meal and balance with time eating, so you can, it will help to reduce your weight. With that, I am happy like a lot of others are here today. And finally, what I have told you, you have read all this you may know. And sometimes it would have helped you to refresh your knowledge. The other thing is, knowing all these things, still we are getting overweight and we are getting complications. Well, we don't have disciplines. So if you go to work, you have disciplines. You come on time, go on time. But when you come to eating, and when you come to the eating part, sometimes you don't have disciplines. Right? When you see things, you like eating. For those things also we have to seafood eaters. Right? So don't be a seafood eater. So So be disciplined. If you have discipline, no worries, you can have a healthy baby. And you have to be happy. Your mental status also should be very happy. Husband also has a main role to keep your wife happy. So those are the things to highlight. I hope you got something, and I wish you all the best and do what parents should be. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Vishyani Ariratna, who has almost 10 years of expertise in the private hospital sector. So, are there any questions? Yeah? Definitely, yes. Okay, I'll come from front to back. Madam, there are some questions.
Thank you for your presentation. I about how the umbilical cord delivers food, because baby's stomach is so tiny. So does it kind of just take the nutrients it needs, or if I eat chocolate first and fruit later, will it already be full of chocolate? So you want to know? So how the umbilical cord fills up baby's stomach? Like, will it just fill up with what I ate first, or will it mix it and then fill up baby?
No, actually, it's all through blood. It's a case of blood. The mother's blood has a lot of nutrients.
So it mix.
So it will mix. Actually, nutrients are absorbed by blood.
Yeah.
It goes to the liver, and is the filtering process gone, it will go to the then heart, to the lungs, and purify, and it will come as to the aorta, the main artery, it will distribute as blood. So nothing to worry about.
Thank you, ma'am.
First of all, thank you very much. It was very helpful for us. Also, when it comes to myself personally, I have so much doubts, like what to do when she's pregnant. So, like as in your seat, when one gets pregnant, they have like cravings, like they love to have pizza or burger. So that time, mostly like Ajinomoto and other kind of everything is polluted, we can say, like food have different ingredients, which is not quite good for our human body. So at that time, how can we handle this situation?
Actually, all these things are food cravings, right? So if mother is not eating anything, you can give it. So Ajinomoto and all, everything we have limit to take, right? Even if you take 1 day or 2 days, it doesn't increase your limit. Actually, each and everything we have standard. So within the range you can take. But suppose if you take like very often, as a habit you are taking is a problem. So all of us may have taking all this kind of stuff, right, in our life. But all don't get cancer, all don't get cholesterol. But even our body also has a system to detoxify all these things, right? That's why we have made a lot of antioxidant fruits and vegetables, so those can eliminate. Right? Taking vitamin is not a problem, but don't make it a habit. Okay? Hope you got that.
Any more questions? All right, thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you for the questions as well. And please, I believe now we are warming up, the questions are coming in.